The world's #1 golfer just said something that every single person running professional golf did not want to hear. And once you understand what's actually happening behind the scenes, you'll realize the sport may never look the same again. Something is seriously off in professional golf right now. Not on the leaderboard, not in the standings, not even on the course. It's happening in closed rooms, in quiet conversations, and now, piece by piece, it's starting to come out in public. And the man doing the talking? He's not a pundit. He's not a retired pro looking for attention. He's Scottie Scheffler, the best golfer on the planet. And what he's been saying lately should have every single fan of the sport paying very close attention. Stay with me through this entire video, because what I'm going to break down toward the end is the part that nobody is really talking about yet, and it changes everything. Before we get into it, if you're someone who wants real, honest breakdowns of what's actually going on inside the PGA Tour, not just highlights, but the real story, you're in the right place. This is Rick Analysis PGA. Hit subscribe right now. We're building something here, and I want you to be part of it from the beginning. Let's go back to Quail Hollow, the PGA Championship. Rain, mud, and golf balls coming out of fairways absolutely caked in dirt. Players are complaining. The conditions are brutal. And the question being asked all over the course is simple. Why aren't preferred lies being used? Preferred lies. That's the rule that lets players clean and reposition their ball when conditions make fair play genuinely impossible. And the officials at Quail Hollow said no. After the tournament, Scottie Scheffler didn't bite his tongue. He stated clearly those conditions cost him shots in a major championship, the biggest stage in golf. Now, you might be thinking, players complain about conditions all the time. That's nothing new. But here's where it gets interesting. Just a few weeks later, at the CJ Cup Byron Nelson, a regular PGA Tour event, not even a major, preferred lies were approved. No debate, no hesitation, just approved. Players noticed, fans noticed, analysts noticed, and Scottie Scheffler definitely noticed. But here's the thing, that preferred lies situation, that's just the surface. Because when you start pulling at that thread, what's underneath is something much bigger. And it involves a decision that's going to affect every single golfer competing at the highest level starting in 2028. Keep watching, because this is where it gets serious. At the Memorial Tournament in June 2026, Scheffler stepped up and addressed something that the governing bodies of golf, the USGA and the R&A, have already committed to, the golf ball rollback. Starting in 2028, new regulations on golf ball performance will be enforced. The official reason? Driving distances have grown so much that classic golf courses are becoming irrelevant. The governing bodies believe the game needs to be protected from its own technology. Sounds reasonable on paper. But Scheffler raised a concern that nobody had publicly broken down so clearly before. The rollback won't affect every player equally. Some players might lose a yard or two. Others could lose 15 to 20 yards off the tee. And in professional golf, where margins are everything, that's not a small adjustment. That's a competitive earthquake. Players who built their entire game around distance could suddenly find themselves at a disadvantage they never agreed to. Justin Thomas has raised concerns. Jordan Spieth has questioned whether the governing bodies actually understand the real-world impact on tour players. And Scheffler is now openly part of that conversation. This isn't about being anti-progress. This is about fairness, and about whether the people making these decisions are truly aligned with the athletes who have to live with them. Now, I said I'd get to the part nobody is really talking about, and we're almost there. But first, I need you to understand one more layer to this story, because the golf ball situation and the preferred lies situation, they're not separate issues. They're symptoms of the exact same problem. And once I connect the dots for you, it's going to make complete sense. Professional golf is still carrying the weight of everything that happened with LIV Golf. The headlines are quieted. The war of words has settled down. But the questions, they're still very much unanswered. Future schedules, competitive formats, television deals, player workloads. These aren't solved problems. They're ongoing negotiations, and they're happening against a backdrop of a tour that's asking its players to do more than ever before. Earlier this season, reports confirmed that Scottie Scheffler skipped a signature event due to exhaustion, The number one player in the world. Sidelined not by injury, not by illness, but by burnout from a schedule that's been packed tighter and tighter with majors, elevated events, and high-stakes tournaments. And that's the part people aren't connecting. The preferred lies inconsistency, the golf ball rollback, the packed schedule, the unanswered LIV questions. These aren't separate stories. They're all pointing to the same thing, a growing disconnect between the athletes competing in the sport and the organizations governing it. And when Scottie Scheffler, calm, professional, and not someone who speaks unless he means it, keeps raising these concerns publicly, that's not frustration. That's a warning. If this kind of deep breakdown is what you've been looking for, real analysis, no fluff, just honest golf conversation, subscribe to Rick Analysis PGA right now. We're just getting started, and there's a lot more coming. I want this community to be the place serious golf fans come when they want the real story. Here's what I want you to think about. Scottie Scheffler has not threatened to leave the PGA Tour. He hasn't called for boycotts. He hasn't gone to war with anyone publicly. But he keeps raising the same underlying issue in different forms. Are the people running the sport making decisions that the players can actually trust? One comment is frustration. 2 comments is a pattern. Multiple comments across multiple issues over multiple months? That's a signal. And the fact that it's coming from the face of professional golf. The guy everyone watches, the guy sponsors want, the guy broadcasters need, means those signals cannot be ignored. The next few years are going to define what professional golf actually looks like. The rollback kicks in. The tour structure continues to evolve. The LIV situation finds its final shape. And somewhere in all of that, there's going to be a moment where trust either gets rebuilt or breaks down further. Here's what I'll leave you with. And this is the part I'll be coming back to in the next video, because there's a specific conversation happening right now inside the tour that very few people are aware of, and it could change the timeline on everything I just broke down. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure notifications are on, because when that story is ready, you're going to want to see it first. Do you think Scottie Scheffler is right to keep pushing back publicly? Or do you think the USGA and the R&A are making the right calls for the long-term future of the game? Drop your take in the comments. I read every single one. This is Rick Analysis PGA. I'll see you in the next one.